Hello, guys and girls. I'm here in Orlando, Florida, about to go to the Universal Studio with my cousin tomorrow, but I just thought to make some time for a video before I go to bed. And it's something very tedious that I want to talk about today, but I just want to share my experience on the plane with you guys today. So I ended up sitting in the middle seat of the three, and for me, I always like the middle seat the least because the hallway seat you can most readily access the bathroom, and the seat towards the window you can at least look out the window, but in the middle seat you just feel like you're stuck and you have the least space. You can't lean against anyone. And as soon as I sat down, I noticed myself becoming stressed because the lady at the window seat was carrying a baby, and the baby was lying on the mother's lap in a diagonal way, in a way that the baby's feet was resting on my leg, and I was wearing these white pants that I'm wearing right now, and that started stressing me out because I knew the white pants was gonna be stained, and I was starting to stress myself out. But I remembered that thoughts and emotions are not you. We are the witness. We are the consciousness that are watching the thoughts and emotions from a third person's point of view. You know, anyone who flirted with spirituality knows the saying, we are not our thoughts. So I tried to remember this as soon as I noticed that I was getting stressed, and I closed my eyes, I breathed through my belly, and I told myself, oh, here I am getting stressed that a baby's feet is making my white pants dirty. And I observed my thought from a third person's point of view. I noticed that I'm thinking. I didn't become my thought. I didn't allow myself to get emotional and get into a deeper swirl of thoughts. I didn't associate myself with that thought and emotion because I knew cleaning my pants later, whether that be with soap or alcohol swab, is gonna take 3 seconds, 3 minutes. So it's not worth ruining your 3-hour flight just becoming stressed over that. And I just let it go, and I just was watching my thoughts, observing my thoughts from a third person's point of view instead of allowing myself to be consumed by the thought. And later, though, the mother withdrew the baby's leg away from me and sat her upright. And the baby was actually very cute. She was smiling at me, and I smiled at her and looked at her back, and she was very shy, so she would look away and bury her face in her mother while laughing, and she would like peek again. And when I would look at her and smile again, she would just look away again, smile, and then bury herself in her mother's chest. We were just playing peekaboo for a little bit. It was a fun experience, and it could have gone very differently if I let myself to be stressed and consumed over my thoughts and emotions. And the guy that was sitting on the window seat, he was a very tall guy with long legs. So he was extending his legs, and his legs ended up extending past the armrest and into my seat. And so the corner portion of my seat was pretty much taken. And his legs were also kind of hairy, so I didn't really want his legs touching against me. And here I am wondering why this woman didn't get an extra seat for the baby. And because the baby was at first at least encroaching my space, and here's a man on the other side of me who's very tall with long legs. long hairy legs touching my legs. And I was getting stressed for a second, but then again, I remember that I am not my thoughts, and I observed my thoughts from a third person's point of view. I witnessed myself getting stressed, and I told myself, I am not my thoughts, and I started just breathing again, grounding myself in the present moment, and I wasn't stressed anymore. I just said, oh yeah, I mean, what's he gonna do about it? He's got longer legs than me. He's not doing it on purpose. He's not trying to take my peace away on purpose. And, you know, at the end, what am I gonna do? Just, all I have to do is just, like, dust my pants off, or the sun will sanitize it, or whatever, when I get off. And it became a very fast and enjoyable plane ride for 3 hours. It's a very tedious story, but I just wanted to encourage you guys to start observing your thoughts from a third person's point of view and knowing you're not your thoughts, because the body and the mind are one. You might think the mind controls your body, but it's not the case. Because all those micro mannerisms we do, like tapping your finger on the wheel when you're in traffic, tapping your feet during an exam when you don't know something, just humming a song, walking around when you're bored, when you're thinking. Did your brain permit your body to do that? Did your body ask for the mind's permission to do that? No. It just happens, because the body and the mind are one. It doesn't act independently from another, because we are just consciousness. We are the awareness. We are the one. We are the God. We are the sun. And all those eternal sources are within us. And the body and the mind is just merely a vessel for that consciousness to work its magic. So the body and the mind are one. So if the mind is stressed, it's going to take physical manifestation in the body. Especially for me, who has autoimmune conditions, I realize when I'm getting stressed, my body feels it. I can just feel the inflammation spreading all over my body. My forehead gets red and hot when I'm stressed. My eczema flares, because the mind and the body are one. That's why stress is such a killer. I think stress is the worst thing for your health. I think it's worse than bad diet, lack of sleep, lack of relationships. You know, I think it's worse than everything, because when your mind is in a low vibration, the same is gonna manifest in your body, because your mind and the body are the same. It's just mere vessels for the consciousness, the one to work its magic. So when you think positive thoughts, positive emotions, your experiences and your life is just gonna be more positive, because people are gonna react to your positive energy. People are want to come close to you, and you're gonna interpret every single situation in a positive light. You know, two people can interpret the same experience in very different manners. You know, one can interpret a setback as a necessary stepping stone for greater things, and one can allow him or herself to be devoured by the obstacle. So it's really your choice. It's really your choice to choose what thoughts you put into your head, and that's going to take physical manifestation in your body and your experiences and your circumstances and your situations. So thoughts, that's the law, that's the manifestation and the law of attraction. I know I'm still in the beginning stages of my spiritual awakening, but I'm starting to see that you really control your thoughts. Your thoughts dictate the life you live, the experiences you have. Because if you think positive things, thoughts of bravery, courage, love, confidence, then your life is just gonna reflect the same thing. Good people, good experiences, good situations. People are gonna feel that energy and give you positive circumstances in life. And when you're just consumed by negative thoughts and emotions, your life will be filled with fear, greed, jealousy, envy, despair, disappointment. Yeah, so it's really a tedious experience, but it's just another reminder for me to start observing my thoughts from a third person's point of view instead of identifying yourself with your thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. When I was in the airport today, I realized how often just the ego tries to make presence in your life. You know, you'll see a mother holding a baby in her lap in the economy airplane seat, and ego is trying to identify and interpret that experience and attach meaning to it. Oh, that woman must be poor. Or when the plane has landed and everyone's trying to rush out of the plane and someone is walking very slowly staring at their phone, your ego is trying to watch that and put meaning to it, interpret it. Oh, that person must be very self-absorbed. That person must be addicted to the phone. That person must be trying to slow everyone down. You know, your ego, which comes for your eyes, constantly tries to make meaning, interpretation, and identification with the experience in your life. And that's all an illusion, because by the split second in which the ego has succeeded in putting interpretation and meaning to your experience, you're not in the now. You're 0.1 seconds behind the now. Because in the now, there can be no room for your brain to make identification, attach meaning to it. So anytime you think about something, you're not in the now. And that's the problem with the modern day humans. We're never in the now. We're always living in the past or living in the present, living in the past or living in the future, always worrying about something, regretting the past. And we say like our life is short, and no wonder why. We're not even ever living in the present. We're never in the present. We're always in the past and always in the future. And we all wonder where our time have gone. So I think to live life even closest to your fullest, you have to let go of your thoughts. You have to start to observe your thoughts from a third person's point of view. You have to close your eyes sometimes. You have to meditate. You have to observe your thoughts. You have to get off your phone sometimes. Because unless you do that, with all the overbearing stimulus that's present in this earth today, it's really impossible to be in the present. You're always going to be thinking, your ego is trying to make meaning to your experiences. Oh, this person's hating me. Oh, this religion is this race is this gender is this political side is this and that. You know, it's trying to attach meaning to everything we see, interpret everything we see, which form biases, which form opinions, which form prejudices. And when we're doing all this, we're never in the present, because by the split second, and our ego has managed to achieve that, we can never be in the now, because those things are not present anymore. Those things are already in the past. You're thinking of the past in the present. The now is all there is. So, yeah, just simply observing your thoughts can be a good start, I think, to decompress your body, decrease a lot of stress in your life. And I really recommend you read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That's the one that got me started on this spiritual journey that I'm trying to undertake. So yeah, I'm still a novice in spirituality, so I know this video is not going to be too eloquent and put together, but yeah, thank you for listening and have a great night, guys.